Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of the Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host here, the Ohio Patriot. And for today's episode, we're going to talk about the LA riots, the upcoming nationwide riots that the left has basically already made they're going to do this coming Saturday, and me trying hard Arizona Southern style tea for the first time will be the other thing today. So, obviously, for those who didn't know, I got a haircut recently. I think it looks good. I definitely need to do a slight beard trim. I'm going to do probably about right there at some point in the future. Because about halfway down. But yeah, I've had this sitting in my fridge for about the last probably 2 weeks now or so, which is Arizona Premium Spiked Beverage, hard, real brewed sweet tea, Southern style, which apparently contains 5% alcohol per volume. And for some reason, this can has a big old, if you guys can see right there, big old dent right there in it by the G. So yeah, I'm gonna crack this bad boy open and figure I'd try it on camera for the first time. Let me get this motherfucker open, that is. There it is. See if this is any good or not. The only reason we've been drinking this today is because my back is hurting and my leg right now has been messed up for the last several days. So I think my joint is popping out of place again, is what it is. So yeah, that is about what I figured it was. So the issue I have with these Arizona products like this that are, whether it be the hard iced tea like this, or whether it be, or I should say sweet tea like this, or whether it be the lemonade that they do, it seems like whatever kind of alcoholic fermentation that they're doing with this product, they're not putting enough masking, if you will, over the products to take away the taste of the alcohol. Like, that's the one thing I noticed with specifically it's Mike's Hard lemonades and stuff like that, depending on the flavor, like specifically the black cherry flavor on that one, you can barely taste the alcohol content in it when you're drinking it. Versus this, I took a big swig and yeah, like I could taste the tea, and then it was almost immediately after that it tasted like I was drinking rum alcohol, honestly. So, and of course my internet signal is dipping right now. It's probably from the storms outside because it's been raining all day long. But yeah, it's just weird to have it be something like that. One of my neighbors either back there or over there was just yelling. I'm not sure if it was them that came and knocked on my door last week or if it was somebody else though, but yeah, they came real close to meeting 2A at that point. So thank God that they left before I had answered the door though. So, but yeah, I'm still confused who the hell it even was. But speaking of Second Amendment, which is what we're going to get into right now, which is basically the LA riots going on right now currently, and these jackasses that are obviously foreign nationals who have no fear of U.S. law enforcement, apparently, because they're literally committing terrorism on our country's soil right now. How Trump has not declared an act of war at this point is just beyond me at this point, honestly, in history, especially when you had that bitch Claudia, or I don't pronounce her name, there in Mexico that's supposed to be the Mexican president, literally basically announcing an act of war on American soil is what it is, and like encouraging riots here is what it is. And I'm like, yeah, how is this woman not, gotten a knock from SEAL Team 6 or something at this point, honestly? Again, just beyond me at this point of how these people are getting away with this shit. But yeah, from my understanding, when I was looking into some stuff last night, something popped up where people were talking about, I guess, I don't know if it's the Antifa International is behind this or exactly who's, I'm assuming it's Soros funding that's behind the whole thing. And probably a lot of Bilderberg too, for that matter. But from what I was looking at, somebody had posted something in one of the comment sections of one of the videos I was watching on X, there's what it was, and it was saying something about how I guess there is flyers going around right now for some kind of like Saturday event this coming Saturday is what it'll be. So it'd be the 5th, what is it, the 14th, 15th? 14th. Yeah, so it'd be Saturday the 14th is what the flyers are saying on it. And it's supposed to be like basically nationwide, like anti-ICE riots going on or whatever, that they're falsely calling protests at this point. So I don't know if they're going to be in all major cities or where it's going to be at. I would assume it will be, though. So I would say, honestly, if you're going to be in a major city this coming weekend, be armed if you're going to be out. Like, that's my best advice to everybody right now, dude. Be armed if people try to fuck with you. Hopefully you're in a decent red state that has stand your ground and constitutional carry laws in it. And you can actually arm yourself and be able to deal with these fucking clowns. So, but yeah, all it takes is a couple people standing up to these pieces of shit and they'll back down real quick. So it's like the old try that in a small town thing, except in this case it's try that in a constitutional carry state, stand your ground, and you'll find out real quick. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do another drink of this tea. And it could be too that the tea itself being in a can still may be affecting it, which I don't unfortunately have a glass with me right now. I mean, it's not bad. Yeah, like basically the best description I can have of this Arizona hard Southern style sweet tea here is it basically tastes like you're drinking the Southern style sweet tea, but then like as you're swallowing or like the very tail end of it is all of a sudden like this just like alcoholic taste to it basically. And it just doesn't, I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff because like I said, it almost tastes like a hint of like rubbing alcohol to it is what it is. And that's not good, man. Or really, actually, what it kind of reminds me of is when I'm drinking straight vodka in the past and just doing like shots of vodka or whatever. And it's like that, like flaming aftertaste to that. That's what it kind of reminds me of, honestly. So it's definitely that alcoholic content then for sure. Like I said, it's not bad stuff, but if it didn't have that like alcohol aftertaste, it'd be a lot better, honestly. So yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, so basically I'm gonna jump to Twitter/X right now for a minute and see what's going on there, see if there's anything worth talking about here. So the guy who was doxing ICE agents is now apologizing because he's about to get arrested for terrorism stuff. Fucking idiots. Well, maybe don't be doxing people in the first place, you asswipe. That's one thing that bothers the hell out of me right now in our country, honestly, in 2025, is that we have so many old laws on the books that are so outdated and could be updated or just completely, flipped off the books. And yet we still don't have a nationwide anti-doxing law. Because the whole entire point of doxing someone is to get that person hurt or killed or something else for that matter. Like, there's no other reason to dox someone, dude, unless you're trying to ruin their life is what it is. And as someone who has been a recipient of doxing issues and stuff in the past, I can tell you right now, I'm totally against it. I think we should have had laws in the books for years now is what it is. And when you got people sharing your private information, when you got people, potentially putting your stuff out there and calling you things you're not, and then trying to get you hurt or killed, because they wanted people to come attack you or whatever. It's like, yeah, this shit should be completely illegal. It should be a federal felony nationwide at this point, and it should be equivalent to attempted murder, honestly, in my opinion, because that's what you're trying to basically do to these people that you're trying to dox. And that's the thing with the ICE agent people. It's like, it's not even them that they're trying to hurt; it's their families. And I don't care if people like ICE or like government agencies or not, dude. Like, when you are specifically targeting these people and you're having people call up their homes, whether it be their wives or their kids answering the phone, and they're literally threatening to kill the families, like, that is beyond uncalled for at that point, dude. That is irreprehensible shit at that point, is what that is. And it's absolutely ridiculous that we as a country, that we as a society are putting up with this shit in 2025, honestly. And it's all coming from the same place, dude. It's always coming from the same place it always has, which is the fucking left in this country. It's the psychotic, lunatic, Democrat, armed, terrorist wing of the Democrat Party is what it is there. At the same time, you got pieces of shit like Cory Booker, etc., going on TV, and it's like, oh, it's mostly peaceful protest. Well, you literally have split screens of people burning cars and buildings to the ground. No, it is a violent terrorist riot and should be quelled as such. Whether that mean using live fire, whether that mean just arresting everybody, who the fuck cares at this point, honestly, dude? Like, do what you got to, honestly. Which, that's one thing I'm surprised by, is that with Trump doing what he's doing right now with the National Guard there, and Pete Hegseth doing the stuff with the Marines there, I think it's Camp Pendleton or whatever, I'm shocked they haven't given shit on site orders at this point, honestly, to the rioters. Where it's like, hey, if you see these people doing stuff where they're like making Molotovs or something like that and trying to throw Molotovs, like, just clap them or something. I'm surprised the order hasn't been given. Maybe it has been in the background. Who the fuck knows? So, but yeah, it's just absolutely ridiculous when you have people who are just out here doing all kinds of fucking shady shit. Or like in the case of this guy right here that I'm going to pull up in a sec here, from this X video. It says, Los Angeles ICE protester admits, so let's call it rioter, admits to being in America illegally. Quote, we're anti-capitalist, think socialism does work, believe it would be more humane system. They aren't hiding it. They're here illegally to bring down our system for socialism, exactly. And that's another reason why they should be fucking, taking the fuck out at this point, whether it be in handcuffs or just, whatever else. Like Miami's necessary is what it is there, dude. For real. Deal with them. And it's that shit right there. When you have fighting age males coming into our fucking country who have already declared an act of war, an active invasion of our nation. Like, seriously, any other nation in the world right now, dude, would be fucking killing these people. They would be opening fire on these people. But yeah, here in America, we pussyfoot around like that, dude. Like, nah, bitch, who gives a fuck about optics anymore? It needs to be like that fucking scene from Civil War, where the guy's like, what kind of American are you? Oh, Chinese? Done. Not that hard, people. Like, it's really fucking simple, honestly. Just so we're clear on this situation, though, I am not openly calling for that to be done. What I am saying is that the politicians in charge right now, whether it be President Trump or anybody else for that matter, should have the balls to actually do this stuff. The fact that you have an active insurrection going on that's not being declared an insurrection act declaration is ridiculous. And again, right there, if you declare that as an insurrection act, you can actually use live rounds on U.S. soil on that one. Now, would it come to that? It depends. Should it come to that? Again, it depends. But when there's videos coming out where you have these people who are literally creating Molotov cocktails on the side of the road, yeah, I would say they should be shot and killed. So, especially if they're trying to throw fucking fireballs at people. But anyway. Oh my god, dude. So here it gets even worse. Going back to the illegals things, you got the illegal rioter there in LA talking about being illegal. So now you got this bitch here is a Minnesota state rep on live TV declaring she's an illegal in the country and so are her parents. Seriously, how the fuck are these people holding power, dude? First off, how are you swearing an allegiance to the U.S. Constitution when you're not even a fucking citizen of this country, bitch? Every single thing that this woman's ever signed off on as a state rep of Minnesota needs to be considered null and void now at this point in history. Because she's been an illegal alien, illegally holding power in a country where she has an illegal right to be in power. People are talking about Cortez being pregnant apparently again. I gotta do something real quick. Peace. Legislation this been on in Minnesota needs to be considered null and void on the spot. Beyond oath breaking, can't swear an oath citizen yeah, it's just absolutely fucking ridiculous, that dude, I'll tell you what. Yeah, ironically enough, Mexico does not allow foreigners to participate in political protests, yet the bitch who is the Mexican president is calling for riots on our soil. So, and that's the big thing that really does bother me in general, is you have so many of these people who will claim peaceful protesting and stuff like that. The problem is, though, is there's like, and people want to talk about like the First Amendment not being covered under the First Amendment and freedom of speech and stuff like that, except it was never directly labeled as protesting. What it was labeled as in the First Amendment is peaceable assembly. We have the right to assemble peacefully and redress our government with grievances that we have against that. What you don't have is the right to violently riot, literally pour gasoline on car engines, set them on fire, and then burn down other vehicles, set other vehicles on fire, burn down buildings, loot shoe stores, loot phone stores, etc. there, dude. You know, rob these places, what you're actually doing at that point. And that's exactly where the gloves come off at that point, honestly, of now you need to go to prison for various crimes. I was actually having a conversation with my uncle when we were going up to the, had to go to apartment today is what it was. And we were discussing like why they would be robbing shoe stores and stuff like that, and then phone stores and stuff like that. And he was making jokes about like, oh, maybe they're trying to get some better boots for running from the cops is what it is. And then I was like, but what about the phone stores? And he's like, well, maybe they're trying to steal a phone so they can communicate with each other is what it is then. for their next move and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, maybe. I mean, obviously that's not the case, but it's just funny how he mentioned that though. And then of course we got Indian national Pramila Jayapal calls to free the illegals who have been arrested and end the ICE raids. This is all the Democrat Party has left. They know they can't win elections without illegals. Well, and this is the thing, right? This bitch Jayapal right here, dude. This woman was literally born in India. She is an Indian foreign national by definition. Why the fuck is she allowed to even hold office in our country? Why the fuck is Ilhan Omar, a Somali terrorist, allowed to hold office in our country? Why the fuck is Rashida Tlaib, a woman whose family are, by definition, illegal aliens in this country, fake asylum seekers? Why is she allowed to hold office in this country? Why is any Islamic follower allowed to hold office in our country right now, dude? It just boggles the mind, honestly. It really does. It really does. And then, of course, you got, speaking of Ilhan Omar, you got this video here that was right above the Jayapal video, where it says, Ilhan Omar smiles as the introductory speaker says, the interests of Ilhan are not with the American people. The interest of Omar is that of the Somali people in Somalia. And that's why she needed to take her bitch ass back to fucking Somalia. Plain and simple. End of story. Not that hard, people. Kick these motherfuckers the fuck out of our country is what it is. Speaking of commie pieces of shit that be kicked out of this country, we have current LA mayor and ex-congresswoman Karen Bass, who literally admitted that she basically gave stand-in orders to the LAPD in the last couple of days. She's also, it's now been proven that Bass had multiple ties to the various companies where you literally had pallets of cinder blocks outside of these places for the rioters to use. So, yeah, not to mention the fact that this bitch has been a known Fidel Castro follower and commie piece of shit since the 1970s. So it's way past time for Karen Bass to be arrested for terrorism and a bunch of other stuff. And be hauled up to prison right now is what it is, dude. For the rest of her worthless ass life. And then we got this one that just popped up a couple minutes ago from a few hours ago, which is a picture of Alex Soros and current fake-ass governor of California, Gavin Newsom. Alex Soros being the son of George Soros. Who's this little fruitcake right here is what it is. It says California Riot is a funded operation. Ads on Craigslist paying between $6,500 and $12,500 a week for being a, quote, tough badass in LA. You just can't make this stuff up. Who has money like that to spend on these riots, let alone anything for a week's worth of work? None of these so-called protests that turned insurrection were ever about immigration, destabilizing the Trump administration in the United States in general is their goal. Then they receive billions of federal funding to fix the damage and pocket the money. This happened in 1992, 2013, 2020, and now 2025. Taxpayer money is also being funneled through these NGOs to fund these operations directly against the U.S. and its citizens. Yep. And I guarantee if you look more into it, it's more than that, dude. It's more than just 92, 2003, 2013, 2020, and 2025. So, yep. And then you got somebody else here talking about the Craigslist ads for the LA riots here. So, I'm not surprised by it, dude. Oh, here we go. This is the map thing I was talking about that I found that I had seen yesterday about the upcoming weekend riots. Here's what it is. It says leftists planning a, quote, rise up all across the country on June 14th. They call it a, quote, nationwide day of defiance. Randy Weingarten is behind it. For those who don't know who Randy Weingarten is, that's the bitch who was the head of the one teachers union. And yeah, look at all those dots, dude. That's got to be a few hundred dots or something else there on that one. Fucking crazy. Fucking craziness, dude. Did you vote for this? Hell yes, I voted for this. So, let's see, we got Mexican in LA threatening federal agents and their families. See, and that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, how do you not smoke these motherfuckers on the spot then? Like, that's what I don't understand is like how these ICE agents don't just like pull a gun and you just be like, pop, pop. You know? Because I'll tell you what, if somebody's threatening my family, that would be my first reaction to the whole thing. Oh, and speaking of piece of shit Democrats, we have little dickless anti-gun fuckboy Chris Murphy calls for nationwide street protests, says the protests in LA are pretty small, and of course blames Trump. Pretty clear to see where this is going. Yeah, mind you, this is the same asswipe that for the past 10 plus years now have been trying to grab our guns from us as U.S. citizens. This is exactly what we need Ahmed's qualification to receive the power in this country, dude. And just be fucking done with it. Wow. So there was apparently a supposed Marine on Reddit who threatened to defect if they were deployed to LA. Well, that's somebody that needs to be out of the military with a dishonorable discharge immediately and become a permitted person forever is what it is then. So I'm not going to show this. I will put it on our X page, though. It's a raw alerts one from a few hours ago here. It was anti-ICE riots are now going nudity in the streets, with some of them holding signs that say, "I am God." I mean, that's obviously very blasphemous to the actual God. That being said, that chick does have a nice rack. So, I will say that about it. Honestly, if there was more out there doing that thing, I'd be okay with these. But let's see, we got Alex Jones a few hours ago talking about Civil War alert. Let's see what it says here about the piece of shit Cory Booker talking about it. Top Democrat leaders openly call for nationwide uprising designed to trigger the collapse of U.S. economy. John Podesta's plan to trigger a second American Civil War is now live. Yeah, it's not surprising at all, dude. If you guys want to watch this almost hour-long video, share it to our page or on X. So, let's see what we got here. So we got propaganda, singing hymnals during the day for a cable news cameras and rioting by night. Yeah. Oh, there's a stupid cunt Maxine Waters again. So we can't be intimidated. We've got to get the people out. We've got to resist. Maxine Waters inciting riots. Mind you, this is what, like the 15th time this bitch has done this shit since 2018, where she's either incited violence by inciting rioting and stuff like that, or has openly called for attacking Trump supporters and stuff like that. Is what it is there. Like seriously, why is this old crone still in fucking office, dude? Hang on, I gotta get this real quick. Sorry, that was my Uncle Colin. He was trying to figure out taking me to the chiropractor in a couple days for my bum leg. But yeah. So as I said here, it said, remember when President Trump was impeached over the same stuff despite calling for peace? Yeah, except you got old cunt Maxine Waters literally calling for fucking violence is what it is, dude. Again, like how hard is it to arrest this bitch, dude? For high treason. Not that hard at all, people. Do your fucking job. Arrest this little cunt. Yeah, you got all the so-called peaceful protests. Ireland, France, America, and Spain. Somebody said the big booty Latinos can stay. Nah, because those are the ones that are like most radicalized, dude. Honestly, truthfully, if we're being honest with it, those kind of chicks right there are the ones that would be the most to be terroristic and stuff like that. It's just like Islam, dude. It's not. It's usually the guys you got to worry about in Islam, but it's also there's quite a few females in that would definitely kill you too. So yeah, you got to kick them all out, bro. Now, if they want to come back illegally and start the legal process, you know, or like that one kid suggested that was running for governor there in California, if they wanted to marry an American citizen and get citizenship that way, like that's one thing. But then again, they would also, I would caveat that as they would have to also have that person's children. I'm not just saying one child, I'm saying multiple children with the same person over the time span of at least 10 years, would that be the case, and prove they were assimilated into this country by speaking English only at that point, etc. So, and if that is the case, and they are willing to assimilate into the country, we have a much better nation, is what it is. Because that's the problem right now, right? It's just like Honda was mentioning last night in his chat. When you have him walking into a Walmart to get, I think it was like some chips or like some rice or something like that, what it was. And you quite literally have like 17 languages being spoken in that aisle that he's standing in, none of which are English. That's a fucking problem, dude. That's a huge problem. You can't truthfully be a nation unless you all speak the same fucking language. At that point, you're just a bunch of colonies, quite literally. So, anyway, I think that's about it for today. Though I'm getting pretty tired. I haven't slept all today. I'm gonna probably try to take a nap here pretty quick and maybe do some stuff later or something. I'm not sure. I think the booze is slightly starting to kick in now. So, by the way, speaking of why Omar and her entire shithead family need to be kicked out of this fucking country, you got Omar's shithead daughter literally calling for the death of colonial empire on Instagram. Mind you, this is the same fucking stupid cunt right here with the glasses who was kicked out of Columbia University last year for literally leading riots at the fucking college. She was expelled for that stuff. So, yeah, that bitch needs to go back to fucking Somalia with her fucking piece of shit mother who was a child soldier. And they can both fuck off to their nation of origin is what it is, dude. So, anyway. Ew. That is messed up. There was a person that was holding a praying mantis with chopsticks so it could eat a wart off their leg. That is probably the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my entire life. That is some nasty shit. Wow. Speaking of Democrats inciting violence, by the way, you got this jerk off right here. Wrongfully calls to, quote, run right over law enforcement trying to deport illegals. Well, it's not as if you didn't have a LA City Councilwoman literally calling for rioting the other day. So, fucking crazy, man. Fucking crazy. Yeah, apparently a couple hours ago, you had Jayapol literally calling for leftist mobs to storm ICE facilities to free the hardened criminal illegals that have been arrested for deportation. Yeah, I agree exactly what Alex Jones said here. It said there is no longer any doubt. Entire Democrat Party is now pushing for a second American Civil War. Dude, I said, like, truthfully, this is where Trump fucked up. I'm gonna say it like it is, dude. It should have been day number 1 of his administration this time around. You should have had every single sitting Democrat in Congress and in Senate arrested for high treason for helping Biden steal the fucking presidency in 2020. And then you literally hit them with various fucking charges beyond that. Whether it be legit death penalties, whether it be life imprisonment, etc. there. You know? The gloves need to be off within the first 10 minutes of his fucking administration, basically. And if he had done things the right way, we'd be a much better nation right now, 6 months on. So, now granted, I'm sure we'd have had some leftists like try to rise up and, you know, do some shit or whatever the case be, or maybe, you know, try to assassinate Trump again, who the fuck knows. But it wouldn't matter at that point because you would literally just have them taken out too then, with the rest of the Democrat Party would be then. So, because at the end of the day, like, people are rightfully calling it out like it is, dude. When you actually have the Democrats basically admitting their endgame right now, which is to have the one-party rule in this country forever, there's no denying that anymore, dude. They have imported 20 to 40 million people in the past 4 years, so they could have like 50 to 75 extra seats in Congress now is what it'll be whenever the next census happens here. When in reality, every single one of these blue states should have 0 seats in them for that matter at a federal level. So it's a bunch of shit, man. And I, for one, I'm sick and fucking tired of it, honestly. And I think many, many other Americans are too, for that matter. We've all had it. We've all fucking had to deal with this fucking stupid bullshit. Like, enough is enough, dude. And like I said, going back full circle, when you literally have state reps in places like Minnesota admitting that they are illegal aliens in this country, bitch, you're not even legally holding power here. Get the fuck out of my country and don't ever come back. Seriously, get the fuck out and don't come back. Pack your shit, take your fucking piece of shit illegal parents with you, and go the fuck back to their nation. So, it's honestly that simple. On that note, that's where we're going to finish off today's episode. Hope you guys enjoy this episode. Hope you guys enjoy the stream. Like I said, I'll be back at some point in the future. I'm not sure what platform, maybe Rumble, who the fuck knows. But, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and finish what's left of the, well, maybe not this whole can. I think maybe I'll take another swig or two off this. I think I'm about right here, give or take right now. Maybe go down about here. And then put the rest in the fridge for later or something, maybe. Yeah, you can definitely taste the alcohol in that for sure. Like I said, I don't know if it's the brewing process or what it is, but it does not taste that great. But I mean, the fact that this can was less than $3 for 1 pint, 6 ounces, or 22 fluid ounces, it's not bad actually. So, if you need something cheap and you don't care about taste, like, yeah, I would say go ahead and get one of these someplace then. But other than that, though, that's where I'll be at for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and I'll see you all on the next one. And like I said, my advice to everyone, if you don't have to be out this weekend, don't be out this weekend. If you do plan on being out and you live in a major city in this country, and you know that these fucking terrorist riots are going to be happening, dude, be armed for sure, 100%. So, and even if you're just chilling out at the house, man, have a gun within arm's reach is what it is then. So, because you never know if these fuckers are going to start coming door to door and stuff like that. But anyway, other than that, that's where we're at for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Peace out. Stay safe. Be armed. Be vigilant. And always be carrying. Later, y'all.